let's get that lack of audio figured out, shall we? Excellent. Got the nice twangy crossout music to soothe us into a slow, sleepy time. Probably. Maybe. Perhaps the building will invigorate me and keep me alive and rejuvenated. In any case, so I'm doing a bit of an impromptu stream today as a result of the Reddit question posed by Splatulated, asking, are the new wheels good? Do they serve any purpose the other wheels don't? Also, buggy wheels exist, we're going to ignore that part. So Glyph the Griff said the suspension low profile is pretty neat-o. That's pretty much the base of it. So what I'm saying is it'll be interesting because some cabins have terrible hitboxes, namely the Ghost, which is funny considering how many of those packs they sell with the Capcan. You'd think that they would prioritize that, but they don't in any case. And you can also hide them as interior wheels because, you know, that's pretty cash money. And I already have a viewer, and I almost guarantee that's fucking Gingerston lurking on me immediately after I talked shit about him earlier today. Anyway, so I am making this video to address this post because there was another build that I made, actually two builds that I had made recently that I kind of alluded to after Kunai posted a video talking about their very small car. So I am not going to play that video because I believe it's generally in poor taste to just have somebody else's video as part of your video. So what I'm going to do instead is I am going to add the link to the description of my video, and I'm going to do that not on the main display because that would be not very cash money for the sake of me showing the super secret channel analytics. They're zero. they're just zero. Nobody's missing out on anything in any case. Let's see, video. Can I edit a video while it is live? Yes. All right. Wow. In theory, I could keep this open and just like punch through the like chapters while doing this, but I do not have the memory to do that. So I won't. Oh, this is exciting. Excellent. We have some good news to look forward to, ladies and gentlemen, which I'm going to do off screen because I'm lame like that. Super secret market stuff. Give you a hint, it has something maybe to do with the low clearance wheels. It's just me buying a fuck ton of low clearance wheels. Not to flip, but because I'm going to fuse them because I have no self-respect and I have way too much money in my Crossout account right now. So the scrap grind is indeed real. I mean, I don't know to tell you. You're 100% right. Generally speaking, the grind is a bit of a slog until you get to the point where you don't directly need to craft stuff with scrap. Up until that point, it can definitely be a drag, especially when you're like trying to hoard as much scrap as possible and getting as much copper as possible from your raids to try and, you know, make a build. But in the meantime, let me get this. All right, so where is Shadow Fox 404? All right. User Reddit, user Kunai Darks. Video on being small, and we're going to use the O with the two little dots above it, just like in the meme. And we're going to link that, and we're going to save that. Boom, bam, description updated. Excellent. All right, so back to the main display. Whoop. Yeah, so basically they made a video about being very small, and I'm just going to, once again, I'm not going to show the entire build because that would not be very savory. but they're itty bitty build. And lo and behold, we have good enough. Maybe not. That's the one I want. Gimme the store. We have a Crossout penalty pack, and it has itty bitty wheels, and it's not terribly noticeable in these images, but they are ridiculously small compared to other builds. So not only are they fantastic for the old Shadow Fox 404 / Kunai Dark for making micro builds, but they're also great for me making my micro builds. So today I'm going to be showing my micro build. They're not really micro. I'm going to be showing my small builds. And then, yeah, basically fucking around with the low clearance wheels because they seem cool as hell for being mini wheels. And also looking at more succinctly answering the question, are the new wheels good? Spoiler, the answer is yes. But I also like min-maxing really weird things. So first and foremost, what we're going to do is we are going to open up, not that, my abomination on a different screen, so you guys can't snoop through my files. Excellent. So you'll note there's a lot of red tabs, and that's because the flywheel and the discharger are a thing, and I haven't updated the builds for the oppressor, no longer having reload speed, etc., etc. Very, very sad times. But basically, if we go to the movement tab, I have logged, I'm not going to say, I am playing on Xbox, thus the Xbox on brackets in the title of the stream, dear Gingerston. I am streaming a la PC because there is a Microsoft Companion app, sorry, my Xbox Console Companion, I've deceived you, and it lets me stream to PC, and if I were so inclined, play with a controller on PC. And so that's what I'm doing, to do basically a screen cap of a stream of my Xbox that I'm actually playing via my Xbox. Where was I? Yeah, so I have logged most of the objects in game. I have not bothered to update them, so this is going to be rough to say the least, because a lot of these values aren't going to be correct anymore, especially with the big Rams finally getting their comeuppance. But in any case, going to insert new wheels below. And we cry because it breaks my... Never mind, I'm just dumb. Excellent. All right, so what do we got? We got our low clearance wheels, and I'm going to yeet this up on the other screen. I'm not going to yeet this up on the other screen. I'm going to yeet my spreadsheet up on the other screen, just so we can take a look-see-loo at those. God damn it! Just focus. Oh, interestingly, whenever I click away from the console companion, it just auto-closes it. Oh, whoops, not you OneNote. Well, that's moderately inconvenient. So I'm just going to be reading these based off of me literally having the, game open on my Xbox. And you're just going to have to trust that I am speaking values. I'm speaking the truth. Anyway, so we're just going to first off compare these to the other values just to show you how super crazy they are or are not. I mean, I don't expect their values to be any very good, but this is going to be a good way to look at doing a mystery tool, which will help us later, and is definitely not me being stupid with aforementioned too much Crossout coins. Anyway, so to start with, they have a power score of 40. That should be the same for either of them. The tonnage is 390 for non-steering and 215 for steering. Whoops. Their power cost is -4% for the regular, and interestingly 9% for the steering rather than 8%, which is normally, a doubling like in everything else. But to be fair too, tonnage is also like generally doubled, but also like not in like most cases. In fact, most cases do not actually have a doubling. It's like this weird, like 80% of a doubling thing. So I actually had to redo this entire chart like last season when I realized, oh hey, I can't just do this value is equal to half of the non-steering value because that isn't true. But it is generally true for the sake of the power cost. Excellent, yes. So it's interesting to note, I'm not sure, once again, I'm not a dev for Crossout, I'm barely a dev at all, but the way it seems like they calculate some of these things, presuming that they stick to a more or less like consistent formula, is in the case of wheels, taking the steering, giving it a value for the power cost, which tends to be a power of 2 or 5, sometimes both. So 15, 15, 12, 15, 10, 12, 15, 12, for instance, for the medium wheels, if we're looking at just the steering wheels. Not you. And then basically just having that for the other value, and then rounding as appropriate. So 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. I'm not going to do the math on stream. You're just going to have to trust me on that if you don't know that off the top of your head. And then rounding up to 8, which makes sense. So 8, 8, half of 12 is 16, 8, half of 10 is 5, 6, 8, 6. That makes sense. So it's weird here because 9 divided by 2 is 4.5, which rounds up to 5, which is not this, and 4 times 2 if they went the other way, which they don't for these, but what maybe they wanted to, is 8, and this is also not 8. So I don't know why they're doing that. Maybe they don't want to have 8 power score steering wheels because then it feels bad. I don't know. I've got no fucking clue, honestly. But in any case, if they are making their data table literally say steering wheel value is equal to 2 times X, or non-steering wheel value is equal to half of steering, then these values are going to be super whack. So this would have to be somewhere between 4.25 and 4.4, because if it was 4.2, sorry, I may have not made sense there. If this value is being rounded and it's actually 4. What did I say, 4.2? That won't even work. 4.25, yeah. So if this value is actually 4.25, it's getting rounded down to 4, then when you double it, it would become 8.5, which would round up to 9, which makes sense, and that's true for any value up to and including 4.49 technically as well, because that would be rounded down from 4.49 to 4.4, but would round up when doubled to 9. So I don't know what they're doing with that, but in any case, the purpose of this isn't to systematically tear down the devs' mathematical abilities or their creative freedom with system balancing. In any case, durability is 95. I presume the same for both. Yep, 95, 95, and 40, 40, which means they small. So they are, yeah, basically it's literally their whole shtick is they're small. I'm literally just going to put that in as the perk because they're teeny tiny, man. I know that they said they were small, but I didn't, until I actually did the math, or until I actually had one in my inventory and mucked about with it, I didn't know how small it was. It's insane. So presuming these values are correct, which I strongly doubt, it is literally the most OP. Yeah, no, this isn't correct. What is you doing? Let's see. Wow, look at all of these. P-O-N-P-O. NQ. Right, so this is just duplicating some values. That's weird. Okay, so I'm just going to ignore the fact that everything else on this page is also probably going to have some wonky conditioning where it's doubled for some reason. Oh yeah, triple, quadruple, quintuple, sextuple, septuple, ladies and gentlemen. It's, yeah, messy. Wow, that's rough. Okay, so completely possible that that was a me thing. I like to believe that Excel mucked up, but they're actually pretty chill about most things, so it was probably me. So I'm just going to clean this up real quick, because I'm particular like that. Just go C100. Am I going to remember? Probably not. Let's just leave it at C52. And then we're just going to paste, 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 paste. Excellent. And now we're going to get rid of all of these other imposter sus color codings. Literally, this is literally applying to one cell at a time. What garbo? Okay. Delete, 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 delete. This is what it feels like in Death Note, right? Is that what it's from? Is that why I'm quoting Gingerston? You seem like you're hip with it and the general culture of the pop. So tell me, is that what it's from? Where the dude is yelling delete and scrawling in a notebook? I feel like that's Death Note-y. And if not, it certainly could be because it's very within character for Light Yagumi Yaga, the guy, the face and the boots with the fur. See, if I was a smarter man, I would have found a way to pause the stream and then like check back in once I've done all this. Oh, there is a pause button. Wow, that's convenient. No, that's an alert queue. Never mind. All right, so we're going to ignore the fact that all these other values for all these other categories are kind of pooched at the moment because I don't really care about them. So we are going to look at the M8. No. Okay, thanks. The M2 through 15 section. But I'm just gonna do. Look at that, disgusting. Look at, oh my goodness me. This is just. Look at that. Look at that. That's horrible. Oh my goodness. Alright, we're gonna have to scorched earth this. There we go. Okay, cool. So we have our P column and we want P 2 through 15 because we just want to compare within the category. I guess we could compare within all wheels, but I think it's fair enough to just compare within the category for not making things amazeball. Crazy difference between high and low, because if I do high and low, then things that are like all these will just be like completely, well, actually that's currently what they are. They're like all yellow. You can't actually really differentiate between them very well just because of the extreme end values of the low clearance wheel and the hermit wheel, for instance. So what I'm going to do, what did you confirm? Oh, there's more of you. Oh man. I fix. Okay. How many? Okay, so I'm going to do mass efficiency, tonnage, net tonnage per power, and tonnage per power square. I think. You know, actually, I'm just going to be lazy. I'm just going to do this for the entire dock, because that way I don't have to use my brain. Okay, so we've got. Wait, not you. Sorry, those are totally the wrong values. We want what? N. We want you N2 to 52. We want O 2 through 52. We want P 2 through 52. And we want NOP. We want this guy, we want Q, so we're going to duplicate. And we are going to sauce you down at the end. And we are going to make you Q. 52 through 52. And that's going to look good, right? Yeah, sweet, excellent. All right, so the entire point of these line breaks are kind of basically forgotten about because of what I just did. But basically, we're looking at a macro level, all of the objects compared to all of the other objects. So for instance, for tonnage per power score, if you wanted to make your build beefy without adding a bunch of tonnage score, medium wheel is by far the best way to do that. You get 19 kilos per point of power score. That being said, their other stats are... And also your part limit is going to go through the roof. But hey, at least these guys are cheap because they're common parts. Yeah, that going for you. And the Icarus 7 are the worst. Which also explains why you get such ridiculously high power score on the hover porks. So that checks out. In any case, so if we just compare them even within this category here, so again, the margins are not going to be extremely wide because, you know, none of them are like 2.7 or 1.8. But within the category, they have pretty middling stats for mass efficiency, so that's the net tonnage gain divided by their actual mass, so basically how much tonnage you get per mass. Tonnage per power is middling again. It's better than the steering, obviously, but these alternate, so the low clearance steering is slightly worse than the chained wheel steering, and of course the non-steering are all going to be better than their contemporaries. So compared to their contemporaries, the low clearance is really not great in that regard. But again, I mean, it's a blue wheel and its perk is being small. So its tonnage per power score is actually higher than most of these other values here, and the net tonnage per power is basically the same as the tonnage per power. It looks like it's slightly more red, if anything, so it's slightly worse. But in any case, very little difference. So cool. Stat-wise there, which is not too surprising. That being said, this does help me know probably which route I want to go with a fusion. Do I want to do it on stream right now? Gingers, are you exhilarated by my spreadsheeting, or are you ready for me to start making poor lifestyle decisions and or making builds? You have the fate of the future in your hand. I don't imagine at face value that spreadsheeting is too terribly exciting. But hey, if you're getting your kicks out of this, then feel free to let me know, and I can continue down that route indefinitely. It's funny enough, that's actually what I'm getting paid to do, which is why there's all these other not as fun ones that are showing up. Alright, Gingers hasn't responded yet, which leads me to believe that I have bored him to sleep, or I have given him cardiac arrest from how exciting this is. So because I don't know which one of those is, I'm just going to go with the one that probably makes for slightly less lame viewing. About to make him cry. Okay, so I understand where you're coming from. Cool, we'll just go make poor lifestyle decisions later instead. So if we get rid of that yucky math stuff that nobody wants to see, we can get into the fun stuff, which is conveniently also not playing the game, kind of. It's just, I don't know. I mean, it depends on how you look at it. I think it's going to be exciting. But, and like I said, I spend like half my time just doing this stuff anyway. You know what we're gonna do? I didn't learn my lesson. I'm gonna end this stream and make this a background stream, and I'm gonna restream, and then it's gonna be a build one, because as you say, it is